What up, y'all, and welcome to Homestead Miami Speedway for the 18th race in the 2023 NRSL Digital Storm Cup Series. On pole for the first time this season is Richmond race winner Trey Smith. It's Smith's second career pole in his Cup Series career. He's joined by Laura Chung to his outside. Row 2 sees Jonathan Zoerlein with Charles Sanford. Zoerlein now your points leader after Papyrus, 18 points over Samet Ozkan. Charles Sanford comes in 9th in the points. Nate Rogers in row 3 next to Cole Deaver. Samet Ozkan in row 4 next to William Brock, with Seth Cole in row 5, rounding out the top 10 with Zachary Fitzwater Sr. Ozkan, as mentioned, comes in 18 points back now of Zoerlein in the championship hunt. Nate Rogers, 33 points back, is the only other driver currently within one race range of the points lead. But there are several drivers looking to throw their hat back into the mix. Dylan Young, 61 points back. Kev Shearer, 72 points back. Rob Evans, 81 back. Fitzwater, 82 back. Ace Rogers, Charles Sanford, both 87 back. Andrew Rich, 103 back. You've also got Seth Cole, 105 back, and Alex Ferranti, 116 back. Those are all the drivers within a two-race range currently in the championship battle, which you will have to be within 118 points after today's race in order to still be in the hunt for the championship. So we got 94 laps of action on tap here this evening. Expecting a two-stop race. Past winners here at this track include James Shelley in 2017, Andrew Rich in 2018 and 2020, Nate Rogers in 2021, and last year's winner is someone we no longer mention. In total, Chevy with 2 wins in 2017 and 2021, Dodge with a win in 2018, Subaru with the win in 2020, and Ford won this race a year ago. Enzo Nereza's win from Papyrus jumped him to 37th in the point standings, as Kate Anderson now sits as the last driver locked into the field in 30th. Kate currently has a total of 45 points over Derek Hamill, 51 over Diego Yepes, and 64 over Audra Baranowskis. So likely slim odds that Kate falls out of the top 30, especially since Diego Yepes did not make the race. But Baranowskis and Derek Hamill did. So Hamill, maybe with an opportunity to gain some points on Kate Anderson, has not been her year. 3 races to go in the 2023 season. Zoerlein starts up front. Nate Rogers starts up front. Ozkan starts up front. They're all on the inside line. Who can have the better race? As Seth Cole looking to make it instantly 3 wide on the 22 and the 3. Zoerlein is known to be one of the best intermediate racers in the Cup Series. Trey Smith leads the first lap of the race as now teammate to Zoerlein. Nate Rogers looking to his inside for second. Seth Cole on the bottom with a great start so far here. Seth Cole looking for what would be his second win of the season. We saw him win back at Miller Motorsports Park, but that has been it for the veteran pole runner known as Send It Seth. Both the road course ace in the Cup Series and the all-time pole leader. Has not had quite the competitive season we've used to see from him. As now Nico Tringali will look to his inside for third. Laura Chung holding steady so far in 5th. Zayden Davidson up into the top 10 right now in 8th. So everyone jockeying for position. Saw Andrew Rich start at the rear of the field. As now Buttersworth going to go 3 wide on Davidson and Ozkan. Zoerlein currently stuck on the outside line. Does not look like this car has a lot of juice on it right now. As Charles Sanford, Fitzwater, they have driven by. Seth Cole looking for second on Nate Rogers as Trey Smith continues to lead the way here so far at Homestead. Seth Cole to the inside of Trey Smith looking for the race lead. He got by Nate Rogers. He's going to drive by Trey Smith. New leader here coming to lap number 8. It's the 07 of Seth Cole. What kind of year has the 07 had, you might ask? Well, he sits 11th in the points, just 1 win and 3 top 5s on the season. Also, those 3 top 5s, his 3 top 10s on the season. But despite that, he sits 11th in the points. He's been very consistent when he doesn't finish inside the top 10. And he's also qualified on pole 3 times this year. There's been a lot of parity this year. I don't believe we have a single driver. Yep. Not a single driver has hit double-digit top 10s through the first 17 races. The most belongs to Samet Ozkan with 8. You've also got Zoerlein, Nate Rogers, and Dylan Young with 7. Fitzwater also with 7 top 10s on the year. Most top 5s belongs to your points leader, Jonathan Zoerlein, with 5. As Ozkan, Andrew Rich, and William Brock have 4 apiece. However, Andrew Rich and William Brock have yet to visit victory lane this season. So Seth Cole leads the way. Trey Smith now down to 4th behind Nate Rogers and Charles Sanford as Nico Tringali sits in 5th. It's a Chevy train here at the front of the field as Kev Shearer moves up into, I believe, 7th place. No, make that 8th place. Let's see if the ticker updates. No, yeah, it is 7th. Okay, Ozkan up to 6th. So Smith, the lone Dodge, in the top 10. Zach Flickinger has now poked his head inside the top 10. You got William Brock moving forward. How about Derek Hamill in the 32? Mentioned he is currently the first driver outside of the top 30. As Cade Anderson currently runs 24th. As Hamill making a 3-wide move on Brock and Keith Rich. And Hamill completes the paths on both of them. So this 32 711 Ford so far looking pretty spiffy. Well, Seth Cole has not held the lead for long, and he's already being challenged. Here comes Charles Sanford in the 03, Samet Ozkan in the 22, and Kev Shearer in the 00. Lined up on the inside line. Sanford will drive by, Ozkan will drive by, Kev Shearer will drive by. Charles Sanford might not hold the lead for long either, though, as here comes Samet Ozkan in the 22. As a reminder, leading laps holds no bonus. But pit stops, you want to be at the front of the field if you intend to be the first one to hit pit road. If you are the first, within the first 3 cars coming down in your group, you are making the most time you can on the racetrack. Once you start coming in behind people, that's when you have to start hitting the brakes sooner and the accordion effect begins. So Charles Sanford took the lead, but did not get to lead a lap as Ozkan just edged him out for the line. And now Kev Shearer moves into 2nd. Meanwhile, Jonathan Zoerlein has been going backwards. The 2-time champ is down to 21st place. And this is not the race you want to have if you're Zoerlein. You're the points leader. Pensacola is up next. Anything can happen at Pensacola now. Zoerlein, statistically in recent memory, has been very fortunate on super speedway tracks. Doesn't usually get involved in accidents, whether it's Daytona, Talladega, Armory Digital, Pensacola. We have not seen him get in accidents in recent years. So perhaps that luck will continue to pay out, but we won't know for sure until next time out at Pensacola. But so far here today in Homestead, this number 5 car does not look too good. You got Dylan Young up here, or rather back here in 22nd. He might be looking to gain some points on Zoerlein if he can get by him. Remember, Young came in 61 points back in the championship hunt. Kate Anderson has now fallen to 30th. Remember, Hamill might be looking to gain some points on her as Hamill's up to 9th. Cole Deaver, man, he qualified up front, but he has plummeted down the running order. He is now, I think, 32nd. Rob Evans not having the night he needs. He's been on a skid of some poor qualifying runs in recent races. Alex Ferranti, Ace Rogers, Andrew Rich, all at the back of the field. As man, Saden Davidson, he was top 10 earlier, but he has plummeted down the running order. Couple laps have gone by. Taking a look at the running order, Samet Ozkan maintains the race lead. Kev Shearer in 2nd place. Charles Sanford 3rd. Seth Cole 4th. Derek Hamill, man, up to 5th. This 32 looks really fast right now. Fitzwater and Richard Johnson are duking it out for 6th place. Zach Flickinger now moves up to 8th. Ryan Brommer in 9th. And Benjamin Ice looking to poke his nose inside the top 10. Nico Tringali, he's fallen backwards. He's down to 15th. Nate Rogers down to 16th. Laura Chung to 18th. Zoerlein looking to move back forward. He's up to 20th now. Dylan Young has not really moved anywhere. Stephen Waters has moved down a couple of positions. And Cole Deaver has continued to move down to 36th. So we are closing in on the first round of green flag pit stops if this thing continues to stay green. And your race leader is currently Samet Ozkan as Derek Hamill. He's going to take 4th place away from Seth Cole. First round of pit stops are underway as Charles Sanford will bring it down pit road, followed by Ryan Brommer, William Brock, Stephen Waters. These all drivers looking to undercut the field. Fall off is about at, no, you can't see it because I just hit Control N. It's about 2 seconds here, 2.5 if you run it a couple laps longer. So not a ton of fall off, but it can count. If you're in the mid-pack, going to see Ozkan stay out another lap as Kev Shearer will lead down Hamill, Seth Cole, and more. Seeing several drivers from the mid-pack on back electing to stay on the racetrack. You don't have to use the access road coming into pit road, but you do got to use it coming out of pit road. So let's see. Will Ozkan go another lap? Is he going to pit this time by? Ozkan will bring it in. Pit road is going to be crowded, however, and you're going to have a lot of people leaving their pit stall here. He'll bring in Nate Rogers, Laura Chung, and the rest of the field. You see Kukulon, Jesse Turner, Scott Roush, Dylan Young, Zoerlein all stayed out, Andrew Rich included. As there goes Charles Sanford in the 03. So we'll head back to the 22 of Samet Ozkan. So he'll begin his first pit stop of the night. Now, 33 laps. Could probably shorten the run on this next stint if it remains green. If you're Ozkan, you only really got to go 30 and then pit again on lap 64. But we'll see how much damage the overcut will cost. There goes Charles Sanford. That'll be Sanford in the race lead. Kev Shearer second. Hamill and Brommer side by side for third. And Ozkan will file in line in 5th place. Just ahead of Richard Johnson and William Brock, Seth Cole. And then Fitzwater and Zach Flickinger. They will round out the top 10. Stephen Waters up to 12th place. Quentin Moore up to 16th. Trey Smith down to 17th. Nate Rogers 18th. Kugelon on the overcut is 21st. I believe he is about where he was running. Same with Jesse Turner. Laura Chung has continued to spiral downward. She is now 25th. You see, as you see, Jonathan Zoerlein currently running in 29th place. Not where you want to be, with Ozkan in the top 5. Does have Dylan Young behind him, however, so that would be Dylan Young losing points in the championship, keeping him out of range. So Cade Anderson now 39th man. Andrew Rich, not his night here at a racetrack that he has won twice at. He is in 40th. So RJ Bishop, Saden Davidson, they round out the running order. As now everyone chasing Charles Sanford, whose only win on the season has come at Chicagoland. If you count the All-Star race, he's also got that going for him. But Sanford looking for a big win here. Maybe with a shot to toss his name back in the championship hunt. Came into this race 9th in the points, 87 back. And a win here with where Zoerlein is running would do just that, with Pensacola up next. Kev Shearer has closed the distance on race leader Charles Sanford. Meanwhile, Samet Ozkan, starting to chip away at the gap himself, has moved past Ryan Brommer for 4th, now trailing Derek Hamill for 3rd. Meanwhile, Zach Flickinger has been moving forward as well. He's in 6th. Seth Cole 7th. Johnson, Ice, and Fitzwater are the top 10. William Brock has now dropped to 11th. Quentin Moore has continued to move forward. He's up to 13th, with Logan York just in front in 12th. York having a good rebound after his great Papyrus race went down the drain late. Nate Rogers is currently in 16th place, looking to gain some crucial points on Jonathan Zoerlein. However, he would be losing a good dose of points to Samet Ozkan. But Nate currently sits in 16th, looking for 15th on Keith Rich. As you see, Zoerlein currently still sits in 29th, looking to get by Turner for 28th. But all these drivers on the same set of tires. They all did the overcut. As you see, Dylan Young still stuck in 32nd. Andrew Rich has moved up to 39th. It's just one position, but Rob Evans down to 40th. As the fight continues to rage for the race lead, we are halfway through this thing, and Zach Flickinger currently holds the fastest lap with a 28.813. But if you look to your top right, you can see about halfway through this run, only a second of fall off here so far. So it definitely seems for now that the undercut was perhaps the way to go here tonight. Closing in on the second round of green flag pit stops. Nothing really going on. You got a couple people passing here and there. Ozkan up to 3rd, closing the gap on Kev Shearer and Charles Sanford. But Zach Flickinger has also entered the picture. This 96 car is flying. Ozkan closing about 1/10 of a second a lap on the top 2, but Flickinger that time by closed in 0.2 of a second. Hamill still looking like he's going to have a really good run here tonight. He sits in 5th. Seth Cole, Ryan Brommer just behind him with a 2-second gap back to Benjamin Ice in 8th. Ice, one of those drivers way down in the go home battle. Looking to have a great night, jump up several positions in the standings. Logan York and Quinton Moore have also entered the top 10 as Fitzwater has fallen to 11th, Richard Johnson to 12th. Nate Rogers continues to move forward. He is 13th. How about Scott Roush up to 16th? But Zoerlein up 2 positions. He's 27th now from the last time you saw him. Dylan Young, however, still struggling in 33rd. Andrew Rich, 38th now, as Lucas Catano has fallen to 40th place. So Samet Ozkan still looking like he might be the favorite to win this race as he closes in on his overcut, but Zach Flickinger is right there in the back of the picture. And you might not want to count out any of these 4 from winning this thing here tonight. Samet Ozkan has gotten up to the back bumper of Kev Shear, going to dive to his inside, looking for second place. Checks up, however, now going to steam it to the middle, through the middle of the corner. We have yet to see anyone come to pit road. So far, pit road has been quiet. But hearing a ton of pit crews are getting ready for the final pit stop of the night. Everyone just trying to make sure they don't pit too early and get stuck on pit road if a caution comes out. But Charles Sanford, he was the first to pit last time. He'll be the first to pit this time. He's going to bring in Zach Flickinger. Ryan Brommer will follow in. So will Richard Johnson. Will Stephen Waters come in? No, 24 stays out, but Corey Riggs in the 27 will pit. There's Waters now, actually. He really fell down the running order. So Ozkan stayed out 1 lap. Will he stay out 2 laps again? He is going to. Might not be the best call. He just caught the leaders after 30 laps. Kev Shear going to pit. Seth Cole stays out. Here comes Hamill. Here comes York, Ice, Shelton, Roush. We saw Nate Rogers stay out. We saw Zoerlein stay out. Dylan Young is going to pit. This is a pretty good call by them. See if they can jump anybody. Now the hope is if you're on the overcut, you're hoping for a caution. Here comes Samet Ozkan. Seth Cole comes in. Quinton Moore, Fitzwater, Nate Rogers. Here we go. Anyone going to stay out? Wow, Ferranti and Laura Chung stay out. Sebastian Kukulon stays out. RJ Bishop, I believe, just stayed out. Pretty much everyone else going to come to pit. As Charles Sanford actually came out of pit road behind Zach Flickinger. So a poor stop on the 03. As now Flickinger's teammate Sebastian Kukulon is coming to pit and really checked up Charles Sanford there. A little bit of teamwork. Flickinger was able to get to the inside of Kukulon. Sanford went to go high and had to check up as Kukulon hit the brakes to hit pit road. All right, so we see Flickinger in the lead. Sanford second. Kev Shearer third. Brommer's going to pass by into fourth. As the sun has finished setting here. Ozkan still in the top 5. So we're going to have to wait one more lap for the leaderboard to finish updating, but you saw Laura Chung got to lead a lap while pitting. But Zach Flickinger in the race lead here. Under 30 laps to go. And right there, gets the lead for the first time tonight. 26 to go. 1 second gap over the 03 of Sanford. 3 seconds over Kev Shearer. Brommer 5.1 back, and Samet Ozkan, man, 6.5 seconds back in 5th. But in the grand scheme of the championship, I believe he's looking pretty good to take back his points lead. Hamill sits in 6th, Richard Johnson 7th, York 8th, Seth Cole 9th, as Benjamin Ice will pass Jessica Shelton for 10th. How about Scott Roush in 12th place? Was outside the top 20 earlier. Corey Riggs, man, he moved up from last to 13th. Just about last. Lane Sanders now in the top 15. So you see Nate Rogers currently 19th on the board. Dylan Young has climbed up to 24th. He has hopped Jonathan Zoerlein, but only temporarily. Zoerlein sits in 26th. Zoerlein has not had the car under him tonight to compete for the victory. Now it's about damage control. If you're Zoerlein, you want to finish as high as you can here. Minimize the amount of points Ozkan is going to pull back on you. As with where he's currently running with Ozkan in the top 5, Ozkan will definitely jump back into the points lead here. So then if you're Dylan Young, if you're Nate Rogers, you're also trying to minimize the damage that Samet Ozkan will pull on you. Right now, Brommer, he's not really in championship hunt. But the top 3, Flickinger, Sanford, and Kev Shearer, where do they sit in the points? As mentioned, Sanford came into this thing 9th in the points. 87 points back. He's going to gain maybe a couple here if he stays in front of Ozkan. But not enough to put him back in the championship hunt. He's going to need something to happen at Pensacola at the rate this is going. How about Kev Shearer? Sits in 3rd. Shearer came in 72 points back of Zoerlein. And a total of 54 behind Ozkan. So currently within range. But definitely needs to finish ahead of Ozkan here tonight. And then lastly, the race leader, Zach Flickinger, comes in 16th in the points. 126 points out of the championship. 108 behind Samet Ozkan. This is the race you need to have. You need to win this race if you're Zach Flickinger. The odds of him winning this championship are slim. But with the win tonight, if he can pull it off, and a survival at Pensacola, while others ahead of him in the championship have a rough go, that could thrust the 96 right into the championship picture heading into Atlanta. So now with 19 to go, you see Sanford down to a 2.5 back. Kev Shearer starting to move forward 2.4 seconds back, as Samet Ozkan sits in 4th, 5.8 seconds back. Saden Davidson has been a nuisance for Kev Shearer as he drives by Charles Sanford. Shearer has not really gained any time on Zach Flickinger despite his overcut, due to in part racing the 31. But Shearer will utilize the overcut on Sanford and Flickinger to at least get by the 03. So move Kev Shearer up to 2nd place. Has another 3 points in his favor over Samet Ozkan. Kev currently would gain 6 points on the 22. That would put him 48 points behind Ozkan in the championship. So we take a look at the top 10. Derek Hamill looking to take 5th away from Ryan Brommer. So you look down the leaderboard, you can see Richard Johnson by himself 7th. Logan York by himself in 8th. Scott Roush has moved up to 9th. Seth Cole sits in 10th. Nate Rogers wants those 2 extra points. Once you get into the top 10, you really start to gain points in the championship, and Nate looking to do so. Remember, he came in 33 behind Zoerlein, 15 behind Ozkan, so he's looking to minimize the damage to Ozkan with Ozkan in 4th. but then looking to gain as many points as he can over his teammate Jonathan Zoerlein. Zoerlein has yet to jump back into the top 20, but he's getting close. He just drove by Keith Rich for 23rd. He's got Buttersworth right in front of him for 22nd. Dylan Young, meanwhile, is 26th. As it has not been a good night for Rob Evans, Ace Rogers, or Andrew Rich. Davidson, the only car lap down right now, is Flickinger with a 2.8 second lead over Kev Shearer. Shearer going to get back by Davidson, but not sure if he's got enough time to catch the 96. 96 still with the fastest lap on the track here at the end of this thing with 9 to go. Now if you're Zach Flickinger, now if you're Kev Shearer, you want Charles Sanford to finish this thing in third. You do not want the 22 to catch him. How about Derek Hamill running in 5th place? Kate Anderson sits in 25th. So Hamill looking to gain a good amount of points over the 77 in the go or go home battle. Trying to get locked in here. If Hamill qualifies for Pensacola, something happens to the 77. Hamill has a great run. He could be locked in for Atlanta. It is a possibility. So now you see Nate Rogers. He drove by Scott Roush for 9th as well, and he is on the charge. 0.3 faster than York. 0.4 faster than Richard Johnson. Same with Brommer. Same with Derek Hamill. How much can the 9 of Nate Rogers truly gain here? But now look at this battle. Ozkan to Sanford. Ozkan, 10.5 faster that lap. Shearer still unable to really get a close on Flickinger as Davidson continues to fight him in what is a non-positional battle. 6 laps to go here at Homestead. I'm going to make one last little video cut. 4 laps to go. Shearer and Flickinger are not going to get their wishes. Samet Ozkan is going to drive by Charles Sanford for 3rd. Nate Rogers up to 8th, has gotten by Logan York. Richard Johnson just in front. Brommer also potentially in range. Meanwhile, Zoerlein up to 20th place. And he's continuing to move forward. He's got Colt Hudson in front of him for 19th. Corey Riggs is just up the road, 18th. These are 1 point apiece. And every little point's mattering here at the end of the season. Zoerlein's looking to make history this year, everybody. If Zoerlein wins this championship, he would make history on 2 accounts. He'd be the first 3-time champion in Digital Storm Cup Series history, and he'd also be the first one to do it by winning 3 championships in a row, as this man has been unstoppable the last 2 years. But now it looks like he's having a little bit of difficulty getting by Hudson. Riggs is just in front of him. He might still have a shot at 18th here, but I think that might be the best he's going to get. Nate Rogers, meanwhile, he's going to drive by Richard Johnson for 7th. Could he get Brommer here for 6th? Meanwhile, at the front of the field, second half of this race has been all Zach Flickinger. He has been the fastest car on the track, and he just needed a little pit strategy to get him to the race lead. As coming off of turn 4, Flickinger will get his first win of the season, and he does it here in Homestead, Miami. That'll be the 3rd win for Chevrolet here at Homestead in the Cup Series. And it's Flickinger's 4th career win in his Cup Series career. Saw Flickinger get his first win in several years last year at Papyrus. And now this year, same time of year, he gets another one. And that adds Flickinger to the list of handful dozen so of drivers that have won 4 times in their careers. Shearer holds on for second. Ozkan was closing there as well. Charles Sanford fourth. Derek Hamill in fifth. Nate Rogers did, in fact, get Brommer for sixth, as Brommer and Johnson, the JTG cars, get seventh and eighth. Where did Henry Sanford come from? He finishes ninth, as Logan York rounds out the top 10 notables. Wow, Priya McShane had climbed to 11th there at the end as well. How about Scott Roush 13th? Seth Cole 14th, Fitzwater 15th. Zoerlein did, in fact, get up to 18th. Dylan Young 26th. Ace Rogers 32nd. Rob Evans 37th. Andrew Rich 39th. And your pole sitter Trey Smith finishes in 40th. That'll do it for me here tonight at Homestead. Next time out is Pensacola, which you know Pensacola is going to get crazy. With that said, Zach Flickinger is your race winner here tonight, and I'll see you guys next time for Pensacola.